Okay everybody, how's it going? Today's a little nice out. I went out this morning, did a little bit of work this morning because the sun's out. It's supposed to, nothing major. I was helping a friend on a septic system job. But it's supposed to rain out the rest of the week. Like I say all the time, I live here in Massachusetts, just so you know, New England weather's not really the best weather. Anyways, we are not doing much because of coronavirus. The kids are home. My kids get homeschooled anyways, but my son was bored and he's 15. So my wife says, why don't you teach him how to use the Mini? So I have a bunch of property. I do have a loam pile, you know, topsoil pile, whatever you call it where you live. Here we call it loam. It's really old and it's stuff from years ago. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a berm along the property line because I don't dump here anymore, but I still have all this. I flipped it up this winter. I kind of rolled it back some, but anyways, let me turn you around here. I'm gonna have him. I'm just letting him play with the machine because there's no better way to learn. So, what? What's that? What's that?
What's the metal thing in the track? What's that?
Oh, that's just a piece of junk. That's just trash. Like, you're gonna see things in here, you know. You just gotta be careful. There's gonna be all kinds of sticks and stuff. Just make sure, like, if you run something over, you see a stick or something like that sticking up, take the bucket, knock it down. That way it don't hurt the undercarriage of the machine. So my son's 15. He doesn't have a lot of experience in the machine. So what I'm gonna do is, I have two sons. One's 18, one's 15. I feel bad for him because he just turned 15 and we told him no friends over, no party, no nothing. He's been locked in the house because of the coronavirus. So I'm just gonna let him play with the machine. And I'm gonna try not to tell him too much. I'm just gonna let him kind of figure something out, and I will intervene if I see something dangerous about to happen. But other than that, I kind of want to just shut my mouth and not discourage him, which for me, you know, being that I'm a rambler, it's the whole shutting the mouth thing is good exercise for me too. You know what I'm saying? I feel the best way for people to learn is just to do things, so I will just keep an eye on him. I do have to tell him where I want to put the loam though, because I actually have a spot that I want to put it. It's, you know, so it's not 100% just a screw off session here. I do actually need to move the pile, but like I said, I'm gonna try to be quiet and leave him alone. I'll talk to you guys, but I'm gonna try to leave him alone. Maybe I'll take the skid steer and push the spoils of the bottom of the pile to him, but I gotta tell him where I want the dirt to go, and then I'll maybe get the skid steer and clean up the trail, you know, just keep pushing it to him. know if you guys can see that. I just gotta make sure you guys can see. Make sure he doesn't get out of the focus of the camera here. I'm not sure how many yards of material are here. Like I said, I don't do a lot no more. Oh, I don't do a lot of dumping here, so, but this pile used to be huge. This is just a remnant. I'm gonna try to build a berm along the back property going that way. Like over near that large tree over there. I don't know if you can hear that squeak that machine does. That's not, I just greased it. I think it has a hydraulic valve that's a little loud when you, I think it's the swing motor valve. It's weird. It only does it when you first stop and first start. If anybody knows what that is, you know, let me know in the comments. You know how to put your bucket down and spin? Now turn and then give it the track on that side. You gotta give it the track. Put your foot on the pedal. Can you hear me? Put your bucket out more, right? Go out a little more. Out. Alright, stop. Now press down. Press down. Right? Now put your foot on that pedal, and your foot on this pedal. And go forward with that one and backward with this one as you're turning. Yeah, like that. Like that. Yep, keep going, keep going, keep going. You got it, you got it, you got it. Now you might have to go back and forth a couple times to get yourself straight. So I want him to have the blade on this side of the machine for two reasons. Number one, this pile has a slight taper, so the water runs off of it. The other thing is, well, it has a slight taper so the water can run off, so if he needs to, he can push down on the blade to level himself. The other thing is if you have somebody that's new at running a mini or something, it has rubber tracks, you're better off letting them, when they're digging, pull up and accidentally hit the blade that's metal instead of accidentally pulling up and hitting the rubber track. You know, so being that he's 15, he does pretty good, but he still is a new operator, so we'll let him hit if he hits it. He might not, but if he hits it, we'll let him hit the blade first instead of the rubber track. See, what I want to do is, I want to continue this pile going that way, because there's a condo association through the woods. There's a good amount of woods between me and them, but I would like to make the berm continue this way, and then I'll plant some of these pine trees on top of the loam as like a privacy berm. So that's what we're going for.
So let's have a fine hand for young Paul Anka, won't you please? Let's have a fine hand for young Paul Anka, won't you please?
you guys kind of what I'm doing. I don't know if you can see, but there's like, through the woods over there, see there's like a car, and there's a house right through there. In the summer you can't see them. We're just coming out of the winter, so there's not a lot of foliage on the trees. This is good stuff though, huh? But in the summer, this pile weeds up like a jungle. So the stuff that grows out of it's tall, stocky, and what I'm thinking is if I just berm through there, I probably won't do over there because that's kind of a stretch to, maybe I'll push something else over there. But in the summer, if I just berm this across the back property line, my neighbor on that side is really cool, so I don't really have to worry about him. He's got like a tractor trailer and a bunch of other stuff. He actually comes over and hangs out sometimes, and if you got a fire going, he'll come over. He likes to burn stuff. So I don't have to worry about him. Plus my dog likes to roam around here and take craps. But I'm thinking from there down, there was a big hole like through here. We've already filled that much. And I'll let this stock up, weed up, and then I'll shape it later myself with the excavator. I'm just gonna let him bale. The best way for someone to learn how to use an excavator is get on a pile and just bale dirt with no, with no real, no gas lines, no electric lines, no nothing. This side of the pile's got some stumps in it from when I cleared this area. I just pushed the stumps and stuff over here. But you can see the stocky stuff. All this stuff grows up and bushes up. And this is all grass that grows on this. See all the dead grass? So, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of trying to push it into that hole. And then I'll go higher, and then I'll just make this like a berm all the way down through here. We'll keep pushing it through here. It used to be a pretty big pile. It was all the way out to where I keep the logs. Believe it or not, that's actually another pile of loam. So what I'm gonna do is I got rid of a lot, but I think I'm gonna use this little bit that's left as a privacy berm. Because I sold the screening machine. I don't screen here no more. Town said I can keep whatever I want for piles of dirt, but I can't process materials they call it on site, which is stupid because there's a farm, a couple houses down, there's a farm. They seem to be able to do whatever they want. Yeah, keep coming. I'll get out of your way. You can use that blade. Push down on the blade. Yeah, there's a farm down a couple doors down. They seem to be able to do whatever they want. Nobody gives them a hard time, but I don't know. For some reason, they gave me a hard time. I can keep as much dirt piles I want here and stuff out in the woods here. It's all separate from like my house area and everything. I just can't do anything with it. I can store it here. I can truck it out of here. I can do firewood here because I heat my house with it. But see, this is the stocky stuff that grows here. Look how big that is. It's almost like a pipe. It's almost like a 3/4 inch copper tube, but it's tall, stocky, and this stuff bushes up too. Like, when this pile gets covered with this in the summer, you won't even be able to see over it. My dog used to walk up through the top of here, all the time, and the only way I could tell he was here is looking at the tops of all of the material. Not material, what do you call it? Tops of the stalks. So I'm gonna park in near a tree so I don't run over the camera. And then we'll keep watching him. What's up, bud?
What's up?
You got flip-flops on. Well, I guess he went to go get a drink, so we'll do a little bit while he's gone. So like where you're sitting, you can cut all this material here out and put it on top of that. Yeah. You know? There's some good worms in here, dude. For fishing. Yeah. Try to envision this whole row being cut out and on top of that row. See if he remembers. I'm not gonna tell him. He's gonna remember to give it the juice. There he goes. I try my best not to say too much to him when he's doing it, but because I hate when people are always like telling me how to run a machine. I can't stand it, so I try not to do it to him too much. But it is teetering a little bit, but there's like logs and stuff up there and everything. Yeah, I try not to do it to him too much, but every now and then you have to give somebody some guidance, you know, that doesn't have a lot of experience, but it's basically you're just trying to guide them, not micromanage them and boss them around. Because nobody likes a micromanager, they're terrible. Just kind of give them a couple little tips. Make sure he's safe. Make sure he's doing things the safe way, and then just let him have at it. I found instead of telling somebody like what to, like how to run the piece of equipment or whatever, you're better off just discussing to them how the job needs to be done, what the job entails, and let them figure out how to do it. Because he's figuring, I just explaining to him how I want the dirt. I'm not really telling him too much how to run the machine. You know, a couple little tips here and there, because I did notice when I got in the machine that like there's a little pitch this way, and he, you know, he doesn't weigh as much as me, so I was sliding a little bit in the seat. So I just figured I'd tell him, if you level the machine off, every time you spin this way, you won't feel like you're falling out of the seat. I mean, the seat belt that's in this machine, it's not very good. I should have a seat belt in there. That's actually one of the OSHA things that they look for. But I know MSHA checks for that, because I had a sand mining job I ran a loader in a sand mine, and they would actually come in and they would check for a seatbelt if you were wearing a seatbelt. This is good soil. But unfortunately, it's not cost effective to screen anymore. So what I do is I dump at a place now, and then if I need any topsoil, I just call them up and have it delivered on triaxles. It's just a numbers thing. The numbers don't work out to sit here and screen it. Unless you had a large, like McCluskey trommel screener, and you were selling hundreds of yards, you know, a day, it's not worth it for me. I don't get enough topsoil jobs to justify the piece of equipment, the fuel to screen it. I did it once before. But it just wasn't worth it. It was worth it on a couple of jobs. I got one big job. I got one big job back in 2000, I think it was 2012, that I actually sold a lot of topsoil to the guy. And when I actually got the down payment on the job from him, I actually bought the materials and built the screening machine, screened all of the soil, and then sold him all the soil in the job, and that paid for the machine plus a pretty good profit. But I haven't got a job like that since, so they're all just little job, you know, little topsoil jobs, you know, 100-yard jobs. That's it. You know, it's not worth it. So let's go check out the back. This is the tripod I use. I need to get a taller one. See, the more you move this, the more it aerates and breaks down. I remember there being a lot more stuff in here, but it rots over time, and the more you move your pile, the more you move your loam pile around, the better. Well, that's pretty much it. You guys get the point. 15 years old, running the excavator. For, I think this is his second time ever in that machine, or in any, well, yeah, running a machine. I think this is his second time ever running an excavator. So I'm pretty impressed. But here's the thing. I'll flip you around real quick and we'll talk. Here's the thing, right? This kid plays video games, right? And from what my oldest son was telling me, he's pretty good at it. What is it? Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, some other game my oldest was telling me they play. Well, that's all. You know, that's all coordination with your hand-eye coordination with, you know, the video games. So maybe that has something to do with it. But I'll be honest with you, I feel pretty proud and pretty impressed of my sons, both of them. But yeah, he's doing pretty good. Anyways, have a good one.